Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about all of the fragrances that I wore last week. So I've got 7 here. I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with this one here. So this is a travel spray of the fragrance from Ellis Brooklyn called Raven. I had a discovery kit from Ellis Brooklyn. I got it a long time ago when Ellis Brooklyn kind of first hit the scene, I guess. I got a discovery kit. This was one of my favorites. I think it was this one and Myth were the two that I really liked the most. This is not anything groundbreaking. This is just a rose and patchouli scent. It smells like many, many other fragrances on the market, but I really love it. I'm really into like dark, moody roses and dark jammy roses right now, and that's what this is. This is kind of like I wouldn't consider this one jammy. This is more of just kind of a straightforward rose and patchouli scent. I really love it though. It's super warm, it's heavy, it's dark. It was perfect for the day that I wore it because it was pretty cold out that day. We had a massive cold front come through, and it got down to like, we had 2 nights where it was like a hard freeze, and it only got up in the 40s during the day, and it was windy and it was so stinking cold. And I think I wore this on one of those days and it was like perfect for that. This is an absolute monster of a fragrance. You will smell like this pretty much until you wash it off. It's just a very, very long lasting fragrance, which is not typical for me and Ellis Brooklyn fragrances. I don't usually even test fragrances from this house anymore because for the most part, these just do not perform well on me at all. I've had several different Ellis Brooklyn fragrances, and aside from this one, none of them have performed well. But this one is a monster. This one's like an anomaly in the house. But anyways, that is Ellis Brooklyn Raven. It is such a beauty. Okay, next I wore, I was really starting to feel like getting more into vanillas, and so I wore, the rest of the fragrances that I wore were pretty much like vanillic in nature. So I'll start with this one here. I wore my Gallagher fragrances Wicked Good. This was one of the fragrances that I pulled out last week for my fragrances that I need to give more love to video. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this. I forget how much I love this fragrance until I wear it. It's nothing I don't want to say it's not groundbreaking. I've never smelled anything else quite like this. But this is only chocolate, Madagascar, vanilla, and tonka bean. It's very simple. It's very linear. It smells the exact same from the time you spray it on until the deep dry down. This thing is an absolute monster though. This is the longest lasting chocolate fragrance I have ever worn, ever. Like, it's just it's a very, very long lasting chocolate fragrance. And I would say it is predominantly chocolate. It does have a very heavy tonka note, but the tonka it's not a masculine tonka at all. It's like a sweet, roasty tonka. And it must be the vanilla and the tonka together that create this like really beautiful, sweet, kind of roasty tonka. But the powdery, oh my gosh, the powdery, decadent chocolate is definitely the star of the show with this one. It is so fantastic. If you want to sweeten this one up a little bit more, I have layered this over the Choco Musk perfume oil, and it is so yummy that way as well. But this is such an absolute monstrous fragrance. You will smell like this for 24 hours easily. This is one of those that you will smell like this until you wash it off. It is so, so long lasting. And I don't know if anybody else has that experience with fragrances, with really, really long lasting, like bombastic fragrances. Do you still smell them on yourself, especially like in your hair and just on yourself until you take a shower the next day? If you are somebody who takes a shower in the morning and not at night. Let me know. Am I the only one? Because I don't ever hear anybody say that they can smell their fragrance until the next day, but I feel like I'm not the only one that happens with. But anyways, yeah, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. So that is Gallagher fragrances Wicked Good. Next, we did have, I feel like, a warm-ish day, and this is the fragrance that I pulled out. Again, this is the Dreamhouse Acuria Cerisier du Jubilé. And this is like a cherry blossom and cherry fragrance. And I love this so, so much. I've got probably maybe 1 or 2 more wears in this, which I'll probably hold on to this until the warmer weather. Because this is one that I do think I prefer in warmer weather rather than cooler weather, because this has got such a beautiful cleanliness to it. I would say that this is more of a cherry blossom fragrance than cherry, because in the dry down, the cherry blossom definitely comes forward and the cherry kind of fades a little bit into the background. It's such a beautiful, clean, sweet cherry blossom and cherry fragrance. It's very, very unique. I've never really smelled another like cherry blossom and cherry combination, because it is a sweet cherry. It's definitely the same cherry that you get in like blood cherry cordial. So it's that kind of liqueurish type cherry. And then with the clean orange blossom, and then I think there's like a clean musk in the base as well. It's this kind of strange mixture of being like a clean, light cherry blossom fragrance, but at the same time, kind of this heavier cherry liqueur kind of fragrance. And the combination is just, it's so magical and just, it's so stunning. I love this fragrance so much. This is one that I would definitely recommend. It's so, especially if you're a cherry lover, or if you like cherry blossom, or if you're looking for like a clean fragrance, something that's a little bit different. I can't recommend this enough. It is so beautiful. This is the only fragrance so far that I've like had to wear twice, but only because I'm like forcing myself not to wear the peach one every single day, because that's what I want to wear literally every single day. But anyways, yeah, so that is Dreamhouse Acurio Cerisier du Jubilé, and it is such a stunner. Okay, next, again, I've really been into like vanillas as well as rose. So I wore this one. This is one of the ones that I pulled from my fragrances that I need to give more love to video. This is the Kayali Vanilla 28. This is a beautifully aged bottle that my friend Susan sent over, and I love this. This is so beautiful. This is kind of like a dark, it's kind of like a dark bourbony vanilla. I think it's got some patchouli in the base. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it is really, really beautiful. It's warm, it's cozy. It's like everything that I want in a cooler weather vanilla fragrance. And this bottle is so beautifully aged, and I could not believe it. I've never had a Kayali fragrance last as well for me as this one. I definitely got a good 10 to 12 hours out of this. Now, I will say after probably 4-ish hours, it did start to wear pretty close to the skin, but I was able to smell. When I got undressed that evening and got into my pajamas, like I could smell this wafting around me when I, took my clothes off. And even when I got redressed, like I could still smell this for hours until I went to bed easily. It lasted a super, super long time on me. This is one that I would pull and wear without hesitation. Normally, I just don't mess with Kayali fragrances very much because I've just never had good luck with them as far as performance goes. And I just don't think that there's anything very special about any of the Kayali fragrances. Do I like a lot of them? Yes, I think a lot of them are really, really beautiful. But they're not fragrances that I get super excited about. But this is a really, really beautiful vanilla. If you're a vanilla lover, I think this is a really nice one. I love this for cold weather, and I love that I finally had a good experience with how a Kayali fragrance performed on me. So yeah, that is Kayali Vanilla 28. Super excited about this one. Okay, and then next I wore, this is another one. I told you guys I was going to be working through all of those fragrances from my fragrances that I need to give more love to video. This one was in that video. This is my original bottle of Dior Addict. I do have a bottle of the original formulation. This is not the original formulation. This is the current formulation. But this is the original bottle that I had. I also have, and the one that I wear, I also have a bottle of the original formulation, the 2002 formulation. I don't wear that one very often. And then I do have a new 1 ounce bottle of the current formulation. I love both formulations. I think they're both stunning. There is a little bit of a difference, but this bottle that I have is pretty old. I think it's from, I want to say this one's from 2017. So it's 9 years old at this point, or close to 9 years old at this point. It's beautifully aged. It's super, super strong. And I think it's super comparable to the original formulation. I love this fragrance. This is an absolute monster on me. You can see I've got very little left in here. I'm gonna try and, it's one of my goals to work through this winter, which I shouldn't have any problem doing because I absolutely adore this fragrance. But this is a really beautiful, it's like night blooming jasmine, I think. It says it doesn't have tonka bean in the notes, but I think a subscriber told me it does have coumarin in the ingredients list, which is a synthetic version of tonka. So it definitely does have tonka in it, and I knew it did because I can smell it. And perfumes just don't age and smell like this without tonka or coumarin or something in it. It's got vanilla in it. I think it's like a bourbon vanilla, and it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. The new formulation, this one here, has a very short notes list. So it's not like the most complex fragrance, but it smells complex to me. It's deep and dark and roasty smelling and vanillic and heavy and warm and cozy. I absolutely adore this fragrance. This is one that I will smell this until I wash it off, especially if it gets in my hair. Oh my gosh. My clothing, sweatshirts, sweaters, anything that I wear this with, it will smell like this for days. It's a super, super long lasting fragrance and a Dior that did not get completely butchered in its reformulation. So yeah, that is Dior Addict. I absolutely adore this fragrance. And yeah, I'm gonna try and work through this bottle this winter. Okay, and then next I pulled out my YSL Manifesto. And number one, this needs some love too, and I only have a little bit left, which I am gonna start hoarding this because this is the only bottle that I have of the original YSL Manifesto. I do have the Elixir formulation that is very, very similar to this, but it is not the same. So, and it's not beautifully aged like this because, I don't know, it's just not old enough to be aged like this yet. So I will start hoarding this. It's funny because the reason I pulled this out was because years and years ago, somebody asked me, because I was obsessed with this fragrance I had a winter where I was obsessed with this. I wore it at least once a week, the entire winter. I talked about it on this channel all of the time. I'm obsessed with Manifesto. I love it. I hate that this is a discontinued fragrance, but anyways, way back then when I would talk about this fragrance all of the time, somebody asked me if I had to choose between this and Dior Addict, which would I choose? Which do I like more? And at the time I was like, I think I do like Manifesto a little bit more because this is very similar to Dior Addict in how it smells. Addict to me is actually more complex smelling. It's heavier. It's just a heavier fragrance to me than Manifesto is. And after I said that, I was like, no, maybe I do like Addict better. Addict, just because it's a heavier fragrance. And I usually just typically prefer a heavier fragrance. Well, so after I wore Dior Addict, I was like, let me just pull out Manifesto and wear it again and see if I really do like Addict better. And no, I stand by what I said all of those years ago. I think I do like Manifesto just a little bit better. I do think it's a little bit easier to wear than Addict. You do get a little bit more of the florals with this one. I don't get jasmine or night blooming jasmine in Addict at all. Like, I don't get the floral aspect of that fragrance at all when I wear it. I do get a little bit of the floral aspect with this one, and I do think that it adds a little bit of a lightness to this fragrance, and I feel like that makes this a little bit easier to wear. So yeah, I stand by what I said years ago. I do think I prefer Manifesto a little bit more than Dior Addict. Now, does that mean I don't love Addict? No, I absolutely adore Addict. I would be happy, I love both of these fragrances, but after having worn them literally one day after the other, I do think that I prefer Manifesto a little bit over Addict. It's just, I don't know, it's just beautiful. Very long lasting. Same kind of experience you get with Addict, but this one is just a little bit later. It's possibly a little bit sweeter and just a little bit more wearable than Dior Addict. So anyways, that is YSL Manifesto. Oh gosh, I'm definitely gonna hoard this. I think I'm gonna start searching for another bottle possibly to see if I can find another bottle of Manifesto. Okay, and then last but not least, I pulled out my Shalimar Millesime Iris from Guerlain. It's that time of year. I'm gonna start pulling these out and wearing these more often. Of the three, I love the vanilla and I love the iris. I don't know that I would be able to pick a favorite between the two. I love this iris one though. I think I love this one so much because you do get a touch of the Shalimar scent profile, but it's very, very muted, very soft. You get a very, very strong iris note, but it's a marshmallowy iris. It's a very sweet iris. It's a fluffy iris. It's not a powdery iris. This is like a sweet, fluffy, marshmallowy iris with a hint of the Shalimar scent profile in the background. It's very, very like vanillic and sweet and oh, I love this. This pulls very, very gourmand on me. And I think that that's why I like it so much. I love it because it's an iris that isn't like your typical smelling iris. It's more of like a gourmandy iris. It is so stunning. I love this fragrance. This one is very, very long lasting. I can get a good 8, 10, 12 plus hours out of this one. But I will say after about 6 hours, it does start to wear a little bit closer to the skin. I love these though. I love all of my Millesime fragrances, but the iris and the vanilla are absolute must-haves for me. They're my favorites. I like the Tonka one. The Tonka one is kind of on the chopping block. I think I'm going to keep it in my collection, but I might not because that one does lean a little bit masculine on me. But this iris one and the vanilla are just, oh, they're so good. And I know not everybody loved this iris one because I do think that people were looking for something a little bit more sophisticated from the Millesime line. And this might not smell that sophisticated to some people because again, it is kind of like a fluffy gourmand type iris fragrance. It's very sweet and marshmallowy to me. And I think some people would be put off by that because that's not really what you're gonna expect from this line. But oh, I can't tell you how much I love it. I absolutely adore this. This is one of those fragrances too that when I pull it out and wear it for the first time, it's like it's all I want to wear for like a week straight. So yeah, this one will probably hang out for a while because I'm gonna get a few more wears in before I put it away for the season because I don't want to run through it super fast. Anyways, that is Guerlain Shalimar Millesime, the iris one. And that is going to be it, you guys. Those are all of the fragrances that I wore last week. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.